Hey, so today I wanted to go over how we're going to do our transplanting. You can see on our last video I put out, I had the size of the basils compared to where they are today. You can definitely tell they are timed to at least be out of these smaller containers and put into a larger container. At this size right here, you really aren't going to go directly into your outdoor garden. For something indoors, absolutely. I mean, you could put this into a 1 gallon, 3 gallon, whatever size you want it to. Typically, what I like to do is from this size container, go into something that's a little bit more this size. I mean, this is around, it's under a half a gallon, so you're probably looking at about, I'd say less than a half for sure. But the best, easiest way, I've got some of our soils. I'm just using Pro Mix again. I will add some like little granulars or some sort of food for these plants. But just an easy way of transplanting these things is I usually will put a small little hole in here like this. I like to grab these, and you can see here we got an extra one that did sprout. This one we're not going to need. You can actually plant that into something else if you wanted to, as long as the root zones are still there. But the easiest way is to take these upside down, give this just a little bit of pinch like this, and it'll help this to fall right out. Even a little shake helps too. So you can tell that we definitely, with the roots on this thing, this really needed to be out of this and into another size container. So the easiest way you can see, I just put that directly in that hole that I already had, in and around there. Give it a good little firm push down. Like, I don't want to just pack this in there because you can disturb the root zones. You do want that little oxygen in there too, because by compacting this, it can eventually lead to root rot and a slower into our root development. But I'll give it just a little push around there, and as you can see, I've got, these are actually a rice pot, which technically you could plant this outside directly into your garden and let it decompose. One thing I have learned is they do take a while to decompose. So sometimes you'll still get that root growth out of the bottom, but I've noticed sometimes it's a slower root growth. So what I'll do is, since it's the end of February right now, I won't plant anything into my outdoor garden until probably towards the end of March. But by the time I get this out there, this plant's going to be about this tall. It'll be nice and happy and healthy and at least established root zone. So we've got more of this roots versus the roots that I had just showed you. And what I'll do with these, I've noticed they're kind of hard to get out of here sometimes. So if you just give it a small little pinch on the side, it'll crack this down the side, take it out and then plant it in your garden. And then you can retake these and put them into smaller pieces and then put those on the bottom of your garden and let them slowly decompose out there. You can throw them in a compost pile, anything like that. So they're not just going to waste, and at least they're not plastic. They're not just ruining the environment and all that stuff. So hopefully this is just a quick little video on showing you how to do a transplant. You can do this with anything, whether it's tomatoes, peppers, any fruiting and flowering plants. Typically with my lettuce, I won't do that. I do have some like started in here. When my lettuce gets about this tall, same way, I'm gonna wait until mid-March. Now lettuce can handle being transplanted out into some colder weather, but I still like to wait till right after the last frost before I get anything into the ground. So hopefully this was just an easy video on transplanting. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Y'all have a good one.